Hi, everyone. I'm real excited today. I am doing an interview with Miss Cynthia from Senior Insights, and we have our coffee. You got your coffee, Cynthia?
I got my coffee.
We have our cherries in the snow on, and we are ready for this interview. I'm going to interview her. I have some interesting questions to ask her. She's such a lovely lady and so interesting and so gracious to agree to let me interview her. So, we're going to first talk about what what drove you to make the decision to start a YouTube channel?
Well, that's really kind of a complicated question because I don't really know. I had been getting involved in watching YouTube, and I had pretty much exclusively started watching YouTube and forgot about all the television. And I noticed that I was developing relationships with the um, creators, and that I actually was starting to feel like they were my friends. And I also observed things about how, as they grew, that they pulled further and further apart. But I don't know, that was in the back of my mind. And one day I said to my friend, Anne, who I talk about in a lot of my videos, she's
Yeah.
my very best friend. I said, Anne, I think I'm going to do YouTube. And she said, I can totally see you do that. And I said, you can, because I'm so insecure, I mean,
Yeah.
and I said, really think that I can? She said, I can totally see you do that. So I said, no, I'm not going to do it. And I went to bed and I slept. And one of the things I say in all of my videos, I got up and it just came to me. I'm going to do a YouTube channel. And so I did. I took a few weeks to kind of explore what you have to do because I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anyone who had done one. And I had no clue what I even wanted to do. And I didn't know what a niche was. I didn't know what a thumbnail was. I didn't know how to record. As you can tell when you see in some of my first videos.
Yeah.
Um, so I just said, well, just get started. And the only person who knew was my friend Ann. I didn't tell my family or any friends or anything. And I just kept plugging away. And the first one I think I said was, why would I start a YouTube channel at 77 or 76? It was, no, and I said, I don't even know. See, that's me. I'm crazy. I forget things. So I started, and I just started doing videos every single day. And wow, what a learning curve it was, and it still is, but I've come a long way
Yeah.
because some of those first videos, I couldn't get the sound right. Everybody was complaining that they couldn't hear me and that this and that. I was getting so aggravated because I was frustrated and I certainly didn't want to alienate potential subs.
Right.
So I just kept working on it. And I swore I was not going to call my son to help me. I was going to do this on my own. And so I continued to have sound problems. I was recording on my phone. I couldn't figure out how to, I wasn't looking at the camera. I was looking at myself. I
Right.
still do that, but
Right.
I picked it up a little bit better so that, it looks like I'm looking at you. Um, so I just kept plugging along and I kept plugging along and I slowly started getting subs. And at 3 months, exactly 3 months to the day, I started. Well, before that, I had to call my son because I had a technical issue that I just could not figure out. And so he got involved. I said, you cannot tell a soul that I'm doing this. You cannot tell anyone. I said, you are sworn to secrecy, and I'm really annoyed that I had to call you. So don't tell. And then I said, oh, well, you can tell your wife if you want, because I'm sure you will anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he was helping me. And then that day that I had that viral video, he was helping me on the computer. He can get into my computer. And he said, Mom, look at the subs. And I said, yeah, there's 258 of them. And he says, no, there's not. And it just kept going, just like a slot machine at the casino, the number of subs. So I went from one day from 258 subs to over 5,000. And the next day I had 7,000 subs in 2 days.
Wow.
And it was kind of shocking to me. I didn't believe it at first because I never thought that it would happen.
So how did you react to that? Was it overwhelming?
It was very overwhelming. It
Yeah.
was it was actually upsetting. I didn't know. I was very comfortable with my 258 subs. I had really felt like I had a personal relationship with them,
Right.
and there were a lot of real loyal ones that I mean, I would exchange cards, and I even gave them my phone number, which is probably not a no, not a good thing. But I was so afraid that they would get lost in the crowd, and I didn't know how was I going to how was I going to do that. And and then the other part of me just didn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. But I was very upset for about a couple of weeks that I couldn't get a grip on it. So I started to tell my family because, I mean, after all, it's a pretty impressive thing.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And my son kept saying, I said, that can't be. It just can't be. And he said, Mom, it is. I can see it right here. And I said, no, there is no way that 7,000 people are signing up to watch me. He said, they are. They are. You have to believe it. This is really good. And so at that point, I said, well, I guess I've made it this far so I can tell people. And I had fun telling them
Yeah.
because, well, first, my son was all excited, because he saw it right in front
Wow.
of his eyes.
Yeah.
And then I have a daughter who didn't know that I was doing it, and she has her own Facebook group. She does personal counseling and stuff. Um, and she came over. It was Mother's Day, I think, around Mother's Day. I said, come here, Erica. So I brought her over, and I showed her all the cards that I got. I have like a fan club. I had to get a post office box. And I was on YouTube and I said, look at this, Erica. You're on YouTube? You have a channel on YouTube? I said, yeah, I do. You have 7,000 subscribers? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Are you getting paid? Yeah, supposedly.
Yeah. So,
She was like stunned.
so when that happens, oftentimes, and I've heard you in your videos talk about this, you get criticized, and how difficult that is sometimes to to be criticized for just, I mean, eating your muffins. Uh,
Yeah,
you know, uh,
well,
the way you looked at the camera, uh, just, I
that's
mean,
that.
everything. Your dog, how you treat it, people pursue, thought you were not treating your dog right. I mean, you got lots of criticism, and I think, but also, how many comments did you get off of that viral video?
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, but you do. Those increase but there can only be, even if it's 1% of negative comments, our humanness, we tend to focus on those instead of the 99% of the people that leave great comments.
Well, with the comments initially, I would get those critical comments about my eyes were bugging out, and what I was trying to do is to like look at them and have some expression and stuff. Um, the sound was a big deal, but after I went live, there were very few negative comments.
Yeah,
It was 100%, practically all the time, 100% likes. Occasionally, there will be one or two dislikes. And it's been great. It's been great until a couple of weeks ago. And then I had some negative responses from talking about trying to do a membership, considering doing a membership. And
Right.
I said it wrong. I implied that I was going to do it. And I may still someday, I don't know. But people got upset and very few negative comments. But there was just one word that sent me over the edge. It was, I could handle all the others. I had handled all the
Yeah.
negative comments all the way up until last week or 2 weeks ago. And it was just one word that sent me off, because what it did was it made me look at the way I was feeling about it myself. I was feeling like, well, who asks people to pay to listen to them, for one thing? Because I'm not so sure I would do that myself, and I don't do it now.
Yeah.
But so all those insecurities and, oh, they really like me now, but now they're mad at me, and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think we're over that, and I'm over it, and I
Yeah.
just let it go. I pulled the two videos that I was had that I one that I said that I was going to do it, and then I had this whole thing on shame that I did that didn't set well with a few people.
Yeah. I saw that one. Yeah.
My dog needs to go out. I'm sorry. Can I just go and
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Honey, why do you do this to me, huh?
And this is how, when you record live with someone, it goes. The
I guess
dog barks,
happens.
things happen, and we have to take care of them.
I know, and she'll
Oh,
be
I know.
wanting to come in too.
Yeah.
Few
But
minutes.
we'll just go with the flow. Isn't that right? That's
Well,
life.
that's life, and that's what we
Yeah.
do on our channel too.
So one of the things that I really noticed, because, preparing for this interview, I went back and watched some of those early videos, and you look different. And that's, I think I was like, wow, what a transformation. And I see that often when I work with people in my practice, in coaching them or in therapy sessions, as they kind of begin to grow and develop, and they it changes the way they look. And that's kind of, I mean, you've changed your hair, you got new glasses,
Yeah.
um, you're
I'm
more
wearing
relaxed.
lipstick.
Yeah, you wear lipstick and but I think it's more than that, it's your countenance changes. You just and
Oh,
that's
let me talk about that a little bit.
yes, ma'am.
I have definitely changed. I cannot say enough about how YouTube, what it's done for me personally. First of all, I had nothing to do. I had no purpose whatsoever. I would sit and I would watch YouTube videos all day long. I don't particularly like to go out of the house. I like to stay home. Um, but as I started getting it, along with the criticism, I was getting a lot of positive comments, a lot
Hmm.
of positive
Yes.
comments. And we all have baggage. We all have baggage when we're growing up. We have insecurities. I talk about, being the last one picked for the teams. And one time I was playing jump rope and my underpants fell down.
Oh.
When I was a kid. But all those things layer and layer and layer as you grow up.
Mm-hmm.
And they're insecurities that you never really get away from. You feel inferior, you don't feel good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not skinny enough, all those
Right.
things. I'm
Right.
sure that everybody has those things to a degree, but I think mine was almost a little too much, about the way I felt about myself.
Right.
And so the positive comments and the fact that I could do this was mind blowing to me. It was mind blowing to me that there were so many people out there in the same situation that I was in, not having people to talk to. Um, but I've always taken risks. I've always maybe said things that I shouldn't say. I should have filtered my mouth a little when I'm talking to my bosses or something.
Yeah.
But I've never been like that. I've always been had kind of a rebellious streak, but that's not really what we were talking about. I got to go let the dog in, and then I'll be right back.
Beautiful dog. Queenie's beautiful.
She's a good girl. Okay, so I just started beginning to have more confidence in myself. I did a few videos on taking care of yourself. Get out of your pajamas, comb your hair,
Yeah.
wear cherries in the snow. That was the funnest thing that I've ever done. I never in my life. It's just incredible to me. YouTube is awesome. Um, so my confidence just built. I started wearing makeup. I started um, wearing cherries in the snow. I started paying a little more attention to how I looked. But you're right. That's not the only thing. It was an internal thing.
Yes.
It's an internal joy and excitement and sense of accomplishment.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like challenges, and I have learned from every single one of these challenges. The negative comments. I don't have audio problems anymore. I don't have, my eyes aren't bugging out, or maybe they are because I haven't changed anything about that, but people are accepting it now.
You've relaxed too. I mean,
I'm much more relaxed.
and that's so much about what happens with change is we change on the inside and then our outsides change. And that confidence, and as you get more competent in doing YouTube, you had more confidence. And then there's what I hear you saying is there's a sense of worth in your
Yes.
life today. And that makes such a big difference in your self-esteem. And it shows
Yeah.
the way you carry yourself, the way you interact with others, and the way you look. Yeah.
Yeah. I encourage everybody to go and look at those first videos. I do a disclaimer like say, they're pretty bad,
Right.
but you will see the difference.
Oh,
There's
a
a
big,
marked difference.
I was, I hadn't I started watching your channel maybe right before you blew up. Right around that time, and I hadn't gone back and watched I watched some around that time frame, but not your earliest
Yeah,
until yesterday. And it was like, what a difference.
yeah.
It's phenomenal.
And I have to attribute that to those loyal subs right from the beginning. They were with me all the time. There were many times that I'd do a video and say, what should I do? I don't know what to do. Should I
Mhm.
just forget this, or should I just do it once a week, or what should I do? I talk to them like they're my friends, and they are.
They are your friend.
And they helped me. They encouraged me, and they were there for every single video. These people.
Hmm.
That's why when I had that viral video, I was so upset that I didn't want them to feel like they were going to get lost in the crowd. And sometimes I have 200, 300 comments. And so it's difficult
Right.
but I always try and search them out first
Yeah.
because they deserve it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
everybody deserves it. But if it wasn't for them, I never would have had that. They knew that I was going to be successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. They see things in us way before we do, and I think that without the lens of people that's known us for a long time and through our change, these people see us like we are now,
yeah.
and that's I've made some great friends on YouTube.
It's unbelievable. It's
It
really
is.
amazing.
It is.
It's not phony. It's not phony. It's
Right.
real. it's real. The people are sincere. I mean, they seem to be, and
Yeah.
they're wonderful.
Yeah.
I
And
wish they were all my friends. Well, they are my friends, but I wish
yeah.
I could. I've often said I wish we could do instead of a live, do like a Zoom call where they're all there so we could see each other,
Yes.
be
Yeah.
each other,
Yeah.
but I don't know how you would pull that off because sometimes you don't even know their names because of their handles.
Right.
I
Right.
find it difficult because my memory is not that good because I'm an old lady. And I see that, for example, the name Kathy, there'll be like 10 Kathys and they'll send me something or say something and they'll say Kathy. Well, which Kathy is it?
Which Kathy are you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I feel bad because you can easily slight someone. And,
Yes. Yeah.
I don't want to ever do that. So,
Um, let's see. You talked in one of your videos about you and your husband owning a camping ground or campground.
yes.
And I love to go camping, and I thought that was
For
very
you?
interesting. You want to talk about that a little bit for me?
Sure. Well, when my children were little, we always went camping because basically finances were always an issue. So we went tent camping and we would go camping um, with nothing, no electricity, no anything. And we'd cook and
Uh-huh.
I must have been crazy because I would go for 2 weeks. My husband would only be able to stay for one. And I had these two little toddlers, both in. From 1, 2. Ah, I'm sorry. It's spam. I just did a thing on spam. Um,
Yeah.
um, so we would go camping and we had a ball, but my husband would leave and I would have these two little kids and a 9-year old because my first son was older. They'd be peeing in the bed, they'd have ear infections, and I would still cook on the stove and I'd insisted that we had to have real dishes and all that. So I was playing house or something. I don't know. I did it and I loved it and they have good memories of it. So when my husband was going to retire, he's a few years older than me. We had an opportunity to um, invest some money, and we decided to buy a campground because it would give him something to do. And we always went camping, and we loved it. And we thought, oh, this is going to be so much fun. Well, I remember we went to a class on how to be a campground owner one time, and all the campground owners were there and they were all kind of curmudgeons, they were all crabbing about their guests. And they were talking about the rules. And I said, why do you have all these rules? I said, these people are coming to have a good time and a vacation. Oh, honey, you'll find out soon. And it's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have to have rules and you have to have structure, but you can do it in a nice way, which of course we did. But we had fun. We had a band every Friday night, and my husband and I would dance, and the kids would do karaoke. And it was just a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work. It's
Yeah.
24/7. And we did it for 11 years. And that was enough. But I have some friends that I've made that I'm still friends with. Some of them are dying off now, some of the older people,
Yeah.
and many of them have moved away. And we sold the campground and we thought that we were selling it to someone who was going to run it just like us, a family campground, but he ran it as a business. So, he started nickel and diming everybody and increasing the funds, and he had rules very different than our rules. So anyway, we were kind of sad that we did that we
Yeah.
sold it to him.
Um,
But
then you kind of hit on something, and I think this is really true. It's been true for me. Getting older, um, losing friends and people that you know that are dying, colleagues, and um, how difficult that is. I know that, my mother, she lived to be 94 and all her friends were gone. Everybody, all her family, she was the last one in her age group in the family and everything. And it's like, just how difficult that is.
It's very difficult. My mom lived to 93, and she was the last one in her family as
Yeah.
well. She
Yeah.
was the oldest, and all of her younger siblings passed away. She was president of this high school reunion, and she was the only one left in the high school, practically. Others
Mhm.
were in nursing homes or something. And it's hard, but it's starting to happen to me and to people
Yes.
our age.
Yes.
Um, I am now the matriarch of my whole family. And that is so strange to me. The whole aging process is difficult for me. It's strange.
Yeah.
I'm kind of adapting to it and accepting it, but it's been a struggle because it's hard to imagine that I am the oldest one in my family.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so that if you want to look at it really morbidly, I could be the next one to go.
I know. I had that happen. I went to a retreat, not this weekend, but the weekend before, and I'm on the board, and I've been on the board, I don't know, maybe 20 years. This was our 38th uh, ladies retreat, and they're all looking to me for answers. And I thought, when did this happen? All of a sudden, I don't know, but but
They
that's,
look,
you
yeah,
know, yeah.
yeah.
If you don't quit and you don't die, that's going to happen. You're going to
They're
become
the old one,
the art.
the old wise one.
And a lot of people, of course, I get it all the time that I don't look as old as I am, but I'm 71 years old and I've
You
lived.
look beautiful,
Thank
honey.
you. But I've lived enough life. Matter of fact, I'm almost 72. My birthday coming up in January, so it'll be here,
Oh,
and yet that happens. And the loss of friends, and I had this last year, I've had like 8 significant people die in my life. And it's like that I've heard people talk about this, but I'm experiencing it. And
yes.
how, it's you come face to face with your own mortality of,
Melody,
am I
absolutely.
next?
Well, that's what I mean about being the oldest in the family.
Yeah.
But I was telling you the other day when I was talking to you, the people I've been married twice. So the first wedding attendants that I had, two women that I was very close to, I guess they were kids because I was only 20, 21. They're gone. They're,
Yeah.
and so were the groomsmen from that wedding.
Yeah.
And so my ex-husband and I are the only ones alive from that wedding. And then when I got married the second time, the two people that stood up for me, they're gone too.
Yeah.
And to me, that is like, how does this happen? I don't understand it. And
Right.
then I just recently lost my very best friend that I was
Yes.
with, um, well, since grammar school. I used to say since kindergarten. She would say, no, I never went to kindergarten. It was the first grade.
And we talked about that. I just recently in June lost my best friend. I have several. They have different levels or different,
Oh,
but
yeah.
she was very dear to me. It's been a hard loss, and uh she was only 57 years old.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awful.
So that was hard. Um, let's get back to the questions. Um, my favorite video of yours is the one you did about regrets. I just really it's a great video and it reminds us to be real mindful of those important people in our lives, especially our husband or our mate or and like just to to treat them like you would your best friend or whatever, because
Right.
you take them for granted.
I think we get very comfortable, and yes, we do take them for granted.
Right.
And we get so comfortable with them that we can not necessarily, we're not nice sometimes.
This is true. Yeah. Yeah. So
I,
what's your favorite video
what's my
that
favorite?
you've done?
I think the one that went viral is my favorite one. And
Yeah.
actually, I really enjoyed that one because it was funny. I
Yeah.
like being funny, but sometimes it's hard to be funny all the time. And people expect that they like that because they
Yeah.
need it in their own lives. They need
Yes.
to laugh and whatever. But I think aging is more than that. And there are a lot of serious issues that need to be talked about. And sometimes people are not comfortable with that, you
Yeah.
know, because
You've
they
had
don't
a few of those too.
yes. I've had a couple of, oh, I can't watch this. I'll come back tomorrow.
But
This,
that's just it. I did one of my best videos has been "Don't Let the Old Woman In." You
oh,
know,
that's a good idea.
and and I talk about some of the humor of getting older. And that's if if you can laugh at some of that stuff. I always say I wanted to wear skinny jeans, but by the time I got them big enough to be comfortable, they weren't skinny anymore.
That's
It's
great.
like,
Yeah.
oh, so um, I think we've talked about all of the questions I have here. Your coming up trip. You're going somewhere with a friend.
I'm
Yeah.
going with my friend Anne, the one
Oh,
who's
yeah. Yeah.
and we did it last year, and we're going um, October 31st, a Friday, and we're going to stay for 8 days. And we're going to the White Mountains, and we did it last year. And she has some physical issues herself, so but she's younger than me, and I'm hoping that when I'm on this vacation, that I'm going to do all lives every day
Oh,
because
yeah.
I
Yeah.
did not figure out how to do filming and transferring it and all that stuff. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And
Yes.
people have asked me to do interviews, and I think I'm going to interview my friend Anne because people are curious about how we met
Yeah.
and how we became good friends. And it's really kind of her story more than mine. So I think if I can convince her to do it, she's kind of bashful and, she
Yeah.
doesn't like
Yeah.
in the limelight. So, um, and I keep teasing her. We're going to have a pajama party. I'm going to bring some cherries in the snow, and I'm going to bring some nail polish, and we're going to do facials, and we're going to do girl things, and then we're going to talk about it on YouTube on
Yeah.
Secret Lights, and everybody will have fun vicariously. I mean, there are some people who can't even get out of bed.
Yeah. And you can blog about where you go and what you see too. I
Yeah.
mean, even in a live, you could do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be
Yeah.
fun. And like you
So,
said, it's so easy because they just post and there's no editing or anything.
yeah. Yeah.
They
So I
just
think
set it up.
I'm thinking right now that that's what I'm going to do if I can figure out how to do it from my phone because I've never done it. But I
Well, I
have,
can help you. I can help you. You could call me. We'll walk through it.
oh, okay.
Okay?
First, I have to try it myself.
Yeah.
And then when I get desperate, then I will call somebody and maybe,
Yeah. Yeah. I had somebody help me to learn
yeah,
how to do it. So another creator
yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
So I think we're about to, the time. So I'm going to ask you the last question, which is, what is one piece of advice that you feel like is probably the most important thing that you would want to tell your younger self? With the wisdom and the age you are now, what would you tell your younger self?
I think I would tell myself to follow your dreams, to don't be ashamed to dream because it'll keep you alive. It'll keep you exciting. It'll keep you striving for something. And you shouldn't be ashamed to dream. My dad used to say, all you do is dream, Cynthia. And I never stopped. And he saw it as a negative thing. But I really believe that you can do anything, just about anything you want, if you believe in yourself. Don't listen to those people that make you feel insecure.
Right.
You're really the only one who can control how you feel. So don't let them make you feel insecure, make you feel not pretty, not too heavy, or whatever it is that's your hang up.
Right.
Just do it and follow your dreams. And I think everybody should join a YouTube channel, do a YouTube.
Do a YouTube channel.
I think you should just do it.
Yeah, there's a lot of personal growth and development in doing that.
Yes.
You have to look at your insecurities and you have to look at those irrational beliefs and negative self-talk
Yep.
to overcome those and to continue
Absolutely.
on with the YouTube. Yeah, it is. It is. Well, I really thank you for spending your time doing this, and it's been fun. And we will have to chat again soon. And
Okay.
I hope you
I,
have a great trip.
okay. I'd like to thank you, Rhonda, for inviting me to do this interview. I,
Okay.
I had so much fun meeting you the other day when we talked and we tried to
Yeah.
figure out the technical stuff. And I just enjoyed it and it made me happy. And that's one thing that I'm much happier since I charted my YouTube channel.
Yeah. 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 It shows. It shows.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.